The Stanley Cup will be in the building. The champagne on ice. An overflow crowd is expected. A capacity crowd at T-Mobile Arena tonight. Can the Golden Knights complete the mission and win the title by closing out the Florida Panthers?
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We come to you from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We appreciate you all tuning in and viewing us on the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights as well. And thank you so much for, again, subscribing there. Our numbers are just through the roof, and we can't do this without all of your support. So we appreciate all of you, and we definitely appreciate a lot of our new followers, new listeners, new viewers. You could follow us as well on Twitter at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G, at Locked On VGK. Chris, the big moment is here. The Golden Knights are prohibitive favorites to win tonight's game number 5 in the Stanley Cup final. And they could wrap up the series with a win tonight. Bruce Cassidy had just a light skate for the team on Monday. He wants to make sure that the Golden Knights come out and they have their legs, especially in this contest. And game number 5 against the Panthers coming up tonight. Meanwhile, the Panthers are a team that is battered. They're in disarray, actually. And as we said and mentioned on yesterday's show, the Golden Knights have a huge edge in the war of attrition. It's time to knock out the Panthers. It's time to do that tonight. At the Panthers skate, Chris, on Monday, missing in action. Matthew Tkachuk was out. Radko Gudas didn't skate. Nick Cousins, Brandon Montour. The question is, will all 4 of those players be in the lineup? With or without them, you have to believe one of the early keys has to be for VGK to score early. Because as we've mentioned before, in 10 games in the playoffs, VGK has scored a goal within the first 5 minutes. I think if they get out to that early advantage, the crowd gets into it, and they could be buzzing up and down the ice. What are your thoughts?
Before we get into it, I got some fun numbers to share. So today marks 2,548 days, 3,669,000 minutes, 220,140,000 seconds since the city of Las Vegas was awarded an NHL franchise. And then now tonight, June 13th, the Golden Knights have a shot to win their first Stanley Cup. So that just gives me chills just kind of saying that right there. So the war of attrition, scoring first, I mean, yeah, all of that is extremely important. You start with the second period, right? You know, the Vegas Golden Knights are going to have a strong second period. They've been dominating that period throughout the playoffs as well as the Stanley Cup finals. So there might be some nerves, right? Florida might even get an early goal in this game and, make for some nervous energy inside of T-Mobile Arena. But I think the Golden Knights at some point will settle down. And I mean, yes, if they can score first, and obviously it'd be really nice if it was like a 4-0, route or something like that. I don't think the Florida Panthers go that easily. It would be nice if it happened like that. Perfect world, get through the first period tied, and then I think that the Vegas Golden Knights can really turn it on just because that's how they've kind of been going throughout the Stanley Cup final. And back at home ice, it's been a different story. 7-2, 5-2, and Florida still has yet to win a game on T-Mobile Arena ice. So
0-8, I think.
Yeah, tremendously tall task for the Florida Panthers. It's possible. You have to give them credit for, possibly being able to pull off something crazy, but let's end this thing. Let's get this over with.
Up 3-1. There's no chance, right, that Florida could come back.
Always a chance. There's a chance.
Teams that have held a 3-1 series advantage in the Stanley Cup final are 36-1. VGK will be relying once again on balanced scoring. It's just a matter of who's going to step up in each situation in each night. And please, no stupid line changes or dumb penalties. I want to see a clean game, or as clean as it could be, hard-fought game, clean checking game. maybe a nice fight at the end, and then they come out and
There's
shake
not going
hands.
to be a fight at the end. there might be some rough stuff throughout the game, but the end of the game is when all of that is left behind. And again, no matter what okay, if there's a fight at the end of the game, that means there's going to be a game 6. So let's not have any fights at the end of the game. And even worse, if the Golden Knights didn't win the game and there was a fight, we don't. There's no room for any of that right now. A good professional game for the Golden Knights is what's needed. A simple game. Don't overthink it. Don't let the moment get too big. And this is where this type of roster is really going to help, and all the leadership of the people that have been there before and the people that know what it takes to get to this point, but necessarily didn't, get there, like Riley Smith and Marchessault and, William Karlsson, the rest of the season 1 players that got close. And that's where they rely on people like Pietrangelo, Alec Martinez, Jonathan Quick on the bench, Barbashev, to keep them in the moment, so to speak. Chandler Stevenson, that's obviously as full circle as it gets, I guess, for this team right now. So, just everyone do their job. Don't change a whole lot. And, Florida has 4 key injuries. Do we even know if Matt Tkachuk is in Vegas right now? Honest question. Like, that's been a question. I don't know if he wasn't on the ice. We know that. Nothing was mentioned at the presser. I haven't seen a picture of him, and I don't know if he's even here right now.
Yeah, I bet you he's here. He'll play
I
regardless.
gotta think he's here, and I gotta think you're right, Tony. But he just might be in a spot where he can't.
Yeah, interesting. And on Monday, Eric Stahl had he talked about the pressure that is put on teams leading 3-1 because he's been there before. When he played for the Hurricanes, they were playing Edmonton in, I think it was 2006, and his team went up 3-1, the Hurricanes, and then Edmonton battled back, and eventually the Canes won it in Game 7. But he said the pressure is just immense, and that's something that they're going to have to deal with, experience or not. But again, you get a lot of those early jitters will come out of you if you can get an early lead. And for Adin Hill, I think the time to get to him, and if you are going to score and make him uncomfortable in that, it's early. We've seen that. And then he just seems to settle in, and then he's fine from there. But he's starting his 14th game. On Tuesday night, it'll be his 14th game that he will start in the playoffs. Unbelievable.
That's crazy, because one of the concerns we had about Adin Hill coming into the season, this is a full circle moment for us right now. I was concerned if Logan Thompson was going to get around 55 or more starts. The reason I was concerned is because Adin Hill at the time, I believe he hadn't had more than 24, 25, 21, something like that.
What was he, like 16, 7, and 1? I think something like that, right?
Wasn't that something like that. But coming in though, before he was a Golden Knights, he never had more than 25, 21, 27 starts, whatever the number was. So you kind of wondered how it was going to happen. Obviously, we know now it was going to take 5 goalies, and the rest is history, unfortunately, for the way the goaltending carousel worked out. And, there's got to be somewhere down for Adin Hill. He's enjoying the moment and everything, but this has to be taking a toll on his body and everyone else. But you mentioned pressure for the Golden Knights. I don't know how much pressure they're feeling. I'm sure the vibe was different at practice. That's not a shot at, Chance's brunch and all that nonsense, but I'm sure the vibe was different once they got on the ice, and they know everyone inside City National and the line of people waiting to see him coming in and out. They're counting on a championship being delivered tonight, and that's certainly a different weight, but deep down, Vegas knows they're better than Florida, right? They know they are much better than a healthy version of the Florida Panthers, let alone, and this is what we talked about a couple shows ago, just the physical nature of this series and the fact that VGK is on the top side of it right now. They are winning the war of attrition. The only major notable injury is in the goal right now. Jack Eichel, he's taken a couple real hard hits. Obviously, Tkachuk got him, and then the puck to the neck, unfortunately, but he bounced right back. He seems like he's no worse for the wear.
Does that count as a block shot for VGK?
maybe. But, point being is VGK, they're in the right spot. They know the situation. It's not too big for them based on the leadership. Cassidy is just as hungry as every one of the players are. Cassidy had a 3-2 lead and a chance to, win a Game 7 at home to win the Stanley Cup against Barbashev and Alex Pietrangelo, oddly enough. So, starting from him, he's going to make sure everything is in place. It's going to go downhill from there. And, you'd hope, Aoki doing his thing out front and the flyovers and everything else doesn't get in the heads of the Golden Knights. And there'll be no better moment when the puck drops and we can just watch a dang hockey game. I said dang.
Okay.
The dang.
You did say dang. That's good. And for Aoki, again, like the pregame festivities, I've been around Steve Aoki to know kind of his shtick.
He's a huge Golden Knight fan. Huge.
He just bought a house here and he's been seen around town, blah, blah, blah. But his whole thing is, okay, he'll play some music and sometimes fans just don't react, right? But these fans probably be liquored up all day and they'll probably be getting into it. If they don't, he's going to be throwing cake, number one. And if that doesn't get the fans going, he's going to probably get out the raft. Okay, let's do the crowd surfing, because they're not like moving. Everyone's just standing still. So they're going to make it contrived, but it'll be a fun environment once again. And I know that you're going to be getting your tattoo out there of the Golden Knights Stanley Cup. Coming up next with VGK on the brink of winning the cup, we have to ask you this question, Chris. How will the fans react if they win the cup come Tuesday night? Back with more after this on Locked On Golden Knights. For a championship team, maybe perhaps on Tuesday night, we will see the chip here in Vegas. It is all about making sure that every player is a perfect fit, aka Barbashev, It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part has to fit just right. So the next time that you need parts and accessories, just head over to eBay Motors. With the eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can make sure that every part fits just right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and then look for the green check, and you will know that the part will fit or you get your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop at eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time at all. And after all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items apply. Exclusions apply. Welcome back on Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas on what could be a banner day. Like that, banner day. We appreciate you all making us your first listen. Don't forget, on Fridays, we've got our What the Friday feature, and I'm sure we're going to get some good ones come this Friday. I was accused because I posted, okay, so what is Cassidy's nickname? It's Butch Cassidy,
Butch,
right?
Sure.
Yeah, Butch, right?
Sure.
Someone accused us on our Twitter feed of acting like we came up with that because I put a GIF of Butch Cassidy instead of Bruce Cassidy on there. You guys didn't come up with that? Yeah, we know. That's been his nickname for how long?
Earth.
Okay. How difficult is it to win the cup at home? The last team that did it at home, you recall this one, 2015, and your Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, we were just talking about that before we went live, and I was shocked to think that it's been 8 years. I mean, you got the bubble situation, makes that kind of weird, but 8 seasons since a team has celebrated on home ice. And I do remember the Blackhawks game. We were at Windy City Beefs and Pizza in Henderson, all my Chicago buds, my dad, Manda, family, my buddy Frank, Chris Condos, just having a good time. 1 minute left. I remember popping the champagne, and the cork popped right off. We put a hole in the ceiling that's still there to this very day, oddly enough. And it was just so much fun. I mean, the Blackhawks, they own Tampa Bay in that series. They beat them 4-1, kind of a gentleman's sweep, like hopefully the Golden Knights are about to do. I think it was a 2-0 game. Duncan Keith and Patrick Kane, the goal scorers, and Chicago just controlled that game start to finish, as they controlled most of their Stanley Cup runs. They never, not too many game sevens, they faced elimination not often at all. And that's something that, the Golden Knights are going to join. I'll try and do some research, but I kept getting sidetracked. There can't be too many teams that have made it through the playoffs without facing an elimination game and, taking series 7 games. And, that's a testament to hopefully what the Golden Knights are about to do in their little place in history, as what might be a dominant playoff run.
Chris, so how do you think, I want to ask you a couple questions. So first, how do you think the fans are going to react if VGK gets the cup, if they win it, if they hoist the cup. And again, the first player to celebrate and to handle the cup will be the captain, Mark Stone, which is really a cool thing for what he's been through throughout his career here and the back issues and all of that. So how will the fans react? Number one, will it be a rowdy crowd? And folks, please don't go around trashing anything. This is our beautiful city, okay? And let's just do this in a responsible way. You don't have to go out there and do anything crazy on the Strip. Do you think a lot of fans will converge on the Strip? And then also, too, you're going to be in attendance at the game. So you, as a season ticket holder from day one, I know you get chills, and I think it's so cool, too. How will you celebrate if they win the cup tomorrow night, or Tuesday night, I should say?
Yeah, there's no words that can, and the excitement of sharing that moment with my son and, the family around me and everything now that we have. I mean, you can't put that into words. And, it's been really fun, going through the Blackhawks run and everything. It wasn't in Chicago. I was here, obviously, with, my new Chicago family here in Las Vegas, but this is different. There's just a jubilation, and there's that commercial that they keep showing. I don't know if they did it this year, but they've done it a couple times, the NHL, where they're showing players when they're doing one of their interviews after winning the cup, and the players are just speechless, and they kept going on and on and on. And that's there's no good way to explain the moment. And I'm sure it'd be pretty emotional, being there with my kid. He's just as big of a part of this as I am, as far as the joy, and maybe he's what fuels the excitement and sharing this, not just with my son, with my family as well. I mean, we have a loft that's painted in Golden Knight colors. You see my office. My office was like this, I think, really before I started the podcast. I got Golden Knight stuff in front of us, the side that you never get to see. So it's strange. It's a very weird feeling. It doesn't feel like it's happening. It's you kind of wait so long to be involved in something like this as a fan. And I don't just mean 6 years as a Golden Knight fan, but as a lifelong hockey fan. And, I hope it happens. I just hope it happens. Otherwise, we'll have some nervous energy because, God forbid Vegas does lose Game 5. I got a feeling we're coming back here for Game 7.
That would be great, though, too. That would be awfully good. I think, because, again, it's fun hockey. I know you don't agree.
I'll pay up my season tickets for the next 3 years if that happens. So, I'll take it from that aspect.
Who on the Vegas Golden Knights would you say is built for the moment?
When you say built for the moment specifically,
I'm saying, like, who could step up and just step into the spotlight in a game like this? Because you're always going to remember, right? A closeout game. Oh, yeah, that was the game that Jack Eichel scored the hat trick. Or
that's where I was going to say. I feel like Eichel would love, you think about the Buffalo game, right? He was on a different level that game. He had a different amount of determination he didn't want to stick it to the fans there. I think it was more against the organization, and he really wanted to make his mark in that moment. So I'll start with Jack Eichel being the one that all of a sudden could have a performance that leaves us like, whoa, what I can't believe I saw what I saw. Outside of Jack Eichel, you look at someone who can maybe just kind of skate the puck between players and things like that and make some of those moves. And the best version of that on the Golden Knights is someone like Shea Theodore, who does have the ability to score, a dazzling goal where he does go coast to coast between all the players. Or we saw obviously his goal in Game 1, his deke and his turn and all that stuff. So, someone like Shea Theodore, you could really expect something big from. It's a layup to say Mark Stone's going to show up and have a game, but I think that's a pretty safe assumption. I think Aiden Hill's built for this moment just because he is very grounded during all of this. He's not, you see him in the interviews after the game, even after he's, roughing it up and everything. He's out there smiling about it and stuff. And, there's a number of players that can really, take the reins and run with it and lead it. And, Jack Eichel and maybe Alex Pietrangelo could be the one, just because Pietrangelo knows what it takes as well.
And for Bruce Cassidy, on the 14th, which is the day after Tuesday's game, of course, on the 14th of June, that will mark his 1-year anniversary.
That's so cool.
Since being hired here in Vegas. And what a run it's been. And he's just, right now, though, he is brimming with confidence. And I could tell he's not rocking. I was rocking on yesterday's show more than Cassidy has in the entire postseason.
I noticed that.
I noticed confident.
That. I was a little uncomfortable yesterday.
I don't know what was going on here, but yeah. So in any event, Cassidy, though, is definitely a very confident coach, and I think that that's carrying over to the team as well. He said they know what's going on here, and they know what's at stake.
They're talking now. This is my first time, like obviously being a part of this on the media side, going this deep. So, I'm obviously, a part of this 24/7, whether I'm at T-Mobile, at City National or whatever, I'm, pretty dialed in right now. I don't remember, just like here. I mean, they're not avoiding the moment right now. They know they're one game away and they're talking about it and they're talking about what one more victory means and all of that. I just don't feel like I remember that, like watching the Blackhawks as a fan for their 3 runs and stuff. I felt it was a lot more, kind of like the perspective. You don't touch the conference trophy, right? You don't talk about the Stanley Cup. You don't mention the Stanley Cup. We rule 1, we don't talk about Fight Club or something. Isn't that how that goes? Whatever. But point being is the Golden Knights, they're embracing it right now. And I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. And maybe all the hoopla at City National today wasn't a bad thing. Maybe it actually helped distract the team in some strange way from all the distractions. As weird as that sounds, maybe it does all make sense. Who knows? And if the Golden Knights go out tonight and shake this thing down 5-1 or something like that, then hey, good job on that brunch, Chance. That boy.
Yeah, for sure. And VGK again with everything at stake. And again, to your point about feeling confident, I heard Jonathan Marchessault say even, we've got them, so they're feeling really good about themselves. And Keegan Colasar, we talked about on yesterday's show.
He's fun.
I like it when teams hate us, it's great. And even Cassidy, though, on the bench has really shown more of a personality, if you will, especially in the Stanley Cup final, again, because his team's playing loose. And again, that comes from the very top.
This goes back to media day. I felt there was a vibe a week and change ago now where the Florida Panthers, they're loose. They're excited to be in the Stanley Cup final. And there was a vibe amongst some of the players of just watching their interactions and stuff that they're content with being here right now. I'm not saying that doesn't mean they don't want to win the Stanley Cup or anything like that, but hey, we made the Stanley Cup. This is pretty cool. Now let's see how it goes, right? Let's see what happens. Where when you're talking to the Golden Knights, they were loose, but they were also very business orientated. William Karlsson is a great example. Just very, not just with my questions, but just very close to the vest. Aiden Hill was relaxed and in the moment, but he was ready for it. And Jack Eichel, same thing. He's saying all the right things and stuff. And he's getting those. I set him up to maybe take a little shot at Buffalo when I asked him a question. And he took the bait a little bit, but he's also giving the right answers. And even Colasar, and I talked to Teddy Bluger a little bit and, watching Barbashev interact and things like that. And obviously Stone and Marchessault and everybody else, like they're comfortable right now. It's a business mentality. And this was the perspective coming into the Stanley Cup final. Like, okay, we're going to win this thing this time. And we don't know what's said behind closed doors, but I got a feeling they had a pretty aggressive perspective about how they felt the series was going to go. And I don't think it's as aggressive as the Florida Panthers tone was. Now, Florida's pretty aggressive on the ice with their physicality and stuff like that. But, Vegas coming in, I think they had a better grasp on knowing what it takes to win the cup than the Florida Panthers. And we're seeing that right now.
It was good to hear from Jackie Aces on Monday saying that, yes, he definitely knows who Charles Barkley is, because Barkley said that he didn't recognize him. But the thing about Barkley was he calls him Mr. Eichel. I mean, that's such a sign of respect. But of course, Jackie Aces, he seems like a worldly guy, and he's a big sports fan too. He is definitely a very big sports fan.
Not a Sixers guy, apparently, though.
But that was pretty awesome. He said that he was tied up with friends, and he saw him. He shook his hand, and he just was kind of distracted with people and friends and what have you. It's like a day in the life of a celebrity for Jackie Aces. Coming up next, we've got our locks of the night, and our predictions are ahead for game number 5 of the Stanley Cup final. Could this be the last time that we do our locks of the night for the season and our predictions? Who knows? Back with more right after this. Locked On Golden Knights. We are back on Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and season ticket holder day 1, Chris Golick. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We appreciate you tuning in to our YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Please subscribe there or sub there, whatever you say.
We're 27 away. I just checked. We're 27 away from 1,000.
Okay, man. And we appreciate everyone on this drive here. And we've got so many people. The cool thing, again, Chris, is just that all these fans are coming into, our home, right? Our YouTube channel, our podcast.
This is my home.
No, but
Yeah,
from everywhere, which
I know,
is
it's
so
awesome.
cool. And the interactions are great. It's fans, not of the Golden Knights specifically, but fans from everywhere. We've picked up a lot of good fans along the way who kind of see both sides of what's happening.
The road fans have been great too. I mean, even if they don't agree, and even if the chirps get a little borderline, that's fun. That's what it's all about. Like that's, chirping and armchair quarterbacking and second guessing the stuff we're saying. That's it's all part of the gig. It's a blast, and I love every second of it.
So what's the percentage of fans that are local that will be in attendance at T-Mobile on Tuesday night? What do you think the percentage of local fans will be?
85 plus, maybe close to 90.
Oh, close to 90 at a parade. Okay. And I think if they win on Tuesday night, I think that the parade will probably be on Friday. And so all the kiddos,
helicopter parade, are they going to be on helicopters waving down to us?
Maybe, perhaps. You never know. Like I said, Lake Bellagio is not a bad move. Okay, I was trying to think of like how many people would be along a parade route in our city. Would it be 100,000, 150, 200,000? How many people?
Just that's a weird number because we're not a big metropolitan area. We're not New York. We're not Chicago. We're not SoCal. I mean, I don't know.
Let's do this on Green Valley Parkway.
Quarter million. I don't know. I'm throwing a number out there. I mean, definitely not. Do it on Water Street. That could be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I can walk.
It's time for our locks of the night and our predictions. And so I am going to go with my locks of the night. I am going to go with
Eichel and Stone are up already. Trust me.
Okay.
On that one.
I'm going to go with Rizzy. Why does Stone call Nick Waugh Rizzy? I don't understand that.
I was going to ask you who you were saying there, but okay.
Waugh. What would they? Yeah, you can't call him Waugh, but Rizzy. I don't know why that's okay. So that's his nickname. And then Alex Pietrangelo has to make up. He's got to make amends for hitting the puck over the glass into the netting. And yeah, that was kind of silly in game number 4. And hey, the good news is that Pietrangelo is not going to be suspended. So the NHL actually did take a look at it, according to Elliot Friedman.
3 seconds, but yeah, that was nothing. Okay, that was a non-starter.
They took a look at it, but Alex Pietrangelo against Bruce Cassidy also too. He's got to make up with his coach as well. Against him back in 2019 in Game 7, he had a goal and an assist in the 4-1 victory for the St. Louis Blues. So I'm going to say that Alex Pietrangelo will step up in the moment, as will the Rizzy man.
Yeah.
4-3 VGK.
Oh boy.
It's got to be VGK. Come on, man. They were minus 185 at last check.
Tony, you can't win for losing. We just lost 3 subscribers when they saw you pick VGK to win this game. All right, so I am going to go 4-1 Vegas. It's been three goal and 5 goal deficits for the first 2 games at T-Mobile. Florida's hobbled. They're against the ropes. They're beat up. I just don't see a path to them being overly competitive in this one. And if they do, then credit Bobrovsky for having the game of his life. And we'll keep the show going for a little while longer here. So 4-1 Vegas. Give me 2 misfits. It feels like a misfits type of moment. Marchessault and Carlson is possibly my last lock of the night, just to give it to Tony a little bit more there. So 4-1 Vegas, Marchessault and Carlson. Little Chris did give me his picks before he went to bed. We're going 4-3 Vegas. So we like 4. We like 4 tomorrow night, Tony.
4 is a good number. Yeah.
And he's going to chalk it up with Eichel and Stone.
Eichel and Stone. Okay, that's why you said they were already taken. I was wondering what was happening there. So that's pretty cool.
Have they ever won when we all picked Vegas on anything?
I don't think we've all picked Vegas on any one night, because I've always been the odd man out. VGK's defense, I think, again, stepping up in game 4, 30 block shots, 31 if you count the one off of Eichel's neck or whatever. But yeah, 30 block shots in that game. The thing that's incredible, I just remember Paul Maurice talking after game number 2 that he played against the Golden Knights this season. he was like, they blocked the amazing thing about the Golden Knights was their forwards blocked a lot of the shots. It wasn't so much their defensemen. He said, I know we could get some shots through in the future, but that trend has continued, obviously, throughout the playoffs, and that's been a major key for VGK.
At Monday's presser, they did ask him about the shots blocked and stuff, and he didn't have an answer for it. He didn't have and he's not going to say a whole lot as far as strategy goes, even into this point of the series, but you could tell he doesn't have an answer for it, and no one's had an answer for it. Edmonton, was able to put up some numbers, but you got McDavid, you got Draisaitl, you have a lot more, top level talent that Florida just doesn't have. And that's not taking anything away from, Ekblad and Barkov and obviously Matt Tkachuk and all that, but, they just don't have those other horses, that can really change a game right now. And I mean, what version of Matt Tkachuk are we going to see tomorrow, if any? 30%, 35%? He's going to play power plays. He's going to play,
the final 5 minutes of the game.
The final 5 minutes of the game, offensive zone faceoffs and get off. Like, you only got 18 skaters, and if they do dress Tkachuk, they're going to have 17 and a quarter skaters, and that's not even acknowledging Gudis and all the other injuries that this team has. Nick Cousins and Montour and Declare, I thought, was hurt as well.
Declare got hurt in Game 4, and then he came back, or maybe he didn't come back, but he's healthy. He was skating.
Okay, good
on Monday. So that's
and we want a best on best. Like, I mean, obviously, it would be nice to
see
have a
some
nice
more good
easy
games,
win. But
yeah,
the point being, and this I've been saying this since about Game 2. Finish those hits. When you have this many players, this beaten and battered, so to speak, finish them off cleanly. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do it behind the whistle or behind the play, but finish those hits. If you got Tkachuk in your crosshairs, take him out for the rest of the series in a legal, clean manner, because he might just be one hit from doing it. And, if there's fans saying, oh, how dare you say something like that? Well, go back and watch what's been happening to Mark Stone, the entire playoffs, folks. He's been getting it before and after and during the play, and the cross checks to the back this series as well. So if we got a chance to get some of that back on our side, and we already do have that on our side, but, keep it going, because this series could extend, So, I mean, you hope it doesn't extend. Obviously, I've said that a million times this show so far, but, a win the battle, lose the war type of thing, where if the Florida Panthers do come out victorious, make sure they're going to have one less player on Thursday night or Friday, whenever next game would be.
Yeah. And South Beach Bruce wouldn't mind going back there, but he wants to go there for vacation. Are you sure that you want to go to this game? I mean, could you imagine how much you could sell your tickets for to buy all that new hockey equipment for little Chris?
I'm selling 2 of my tickets. I got 2 and I'm selling 2, so I'm cool.
Man, so the ticket prices were soaring still, and it was $800 plus for standing room, and some people said it's 5-6 deep. You can't even see a game.
It depends on how they do it. If they open the triangles, you better get there when the second the doors open, and
so no cake. So no cake for Aoki is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Get there early and wear a catheter. Don't have to leave to go to the restroom because someone will take your seats. So yeah.
Okay, so for the casual fans that don't have tickets to the game, where would you expect them to be? Obviously, all the local bars will be cooking. The bars around T-Mobile will be cooking. Henderson on Water Street has another viewing party. Hopefully the screen works, the sound, and doesn't cut out, and the hot dog guy's there or whatever. And so, like, I think, well, seriously though, like a lot of fans are going to want to go there and be a part of history. So they are going to go down to the Strip. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
will they close off the Strip? In that certain area around there.
I mean, they'll probably. I mean, they keep the streets closed, like the New York Drive, and they close the Park MGM Drive is open. That whole area will be sealed off, I'm guessing.
There'll be more fans there, and it's going to be hard to get.
There hasn't been a ton. Well, we park at MGM, and we should roll right out of there, hopefully at 2-3 in the morning.
Okay. So little Chris doesn't have a curfew.
I don't care what there is. I'll serve my
awesome.
I'll serve my double minor on this one. I'll deal with the repercussions.
Okay. And champagne toast, perhaps, if they win at home.
Sure.
Okay. Well, good luck, man. No, it's been a ton of fun, and just watching it, through you and little Chris has been really enjoyable, to say the very least. We thank everyone for tuning in, especially our everydayers. Thank you so much for subscribing to our YouTube channel, all your comments across Twitter. So much fun at Locked On VGK. And this, Chris, could become a night, K-N-I-G-H-T, to remember. And so we're looking forward to a big game, and hopefully for you VGK fans, the Golden Knights come out of the game hoisting the Stanley Cup. For Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. We'll see you again tomorrow. Things could be wrapped up right here on Locked On Golden Knights.